Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sovereign Self Show, the show you learn how your body and emotions are not in the way, but actually leading the way. And today we're diving into all New Year's goals, resolutions. New Year doesn't necessarily mean it's the new you. This is going to be the Lightworkers Guide to creating abundance, impact, and inner power that actually helps you create results in your life and become a better version of yourself, because who doesn't want that? So I'm speaking to every light worker listening to this. Forget the goal. Forget chasing continuously on that hamster wheel, but trying to get to that finish line. The real mission is becoming who you are on the way there. Another quote I love to live my life by is a person who enjoys more of the journey or the process than the destination or the goal is truly unstoppable. So I'm recording this, y'all, on New Year's Day. I got my jasmine green tea here. I got my Lululemon workout tee and sweatpants on. I am in total chill create mode. We just about a few weeks ago, we're traveling full time. And I will show on the edited YouTube version, if you're watching the video, we are on the ocean. We have an Airbnb for the next few months. This is like a lifelong dream. And we're living on the water. We are living on the ocean. We are doing cold dips every day. We are in South Carolina, so it is kind of cold right now, moving from Florida. And it felt like the next best thing. And that's what we're going to dive into today. A manifestation is close when, you've been visualizing and dreaming these goals and something that used to be so big and far out of reach and very exciting. And then one day you realize that, oh, this is the next best thing. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's here. And so we're going to dive into how to do that today. And I'm going to talk also about, this podcast. And this has been such a beautiful teacher, including my business, about creating this podcast back in 2018. Now it's steadily top 2% and above of all podcasts out there. I'm going to dive into, even though I was on this journey a few years ago, how a scary, life-threatening diagnosis actually led me not only to heal my body, commit to myself at a deeper level, unlock all of those spiritual gifts, but also become a match to manifesting my partner. Wasn't even on my radar. And so all in all, this is like our casual chat, but this is like, if you are ready, get your cup of tea, get your journal out. This is not going to be the typical New Year's goal talk. This is about the inner journey. And we're going to go through those goals. And your mission is to align with your higher self, who already is that successful entrepreneur. For me, mom. It's not just about the achievement. It's about who you become in that process. So we're going to dive in now on the shift in perspective, the goals versus the growth. Why goals are so often misunderstood. We always focus on the result. And this whole episode is really about the real magic of the transformation. The more aligned we are and the whole we are internally to who we already are, this isn't something we're reaching for outside of ourselves, the more magnetized or magnetic you will become to your external reality. So to say that in a different way, the more we get clear on that type of person who has $1 million business, for instance, how would she act in every area of her life? Not only her business, not only just showing up for a podcast, but what would her overall emotional set point be? And we get to practice transmuting all the stuff that we have now, yes, but also practicing that forward motion, those positive motion. It's not that your millionaire self won't ever feel contrast, won't ever feel anger or fear or anything like that. But how would she respond when she gets triggered? how would she respond when things don't go as planned? And I will bet you a lot of money that version of you is responding and being different than how you are right now. As an empath, as an entrepreneur, this is everything. Your impact, your abundance comes from your own energetic alignment. And again, this isn't something that is separate than you. This is something that you already are vibrationally, your higher self, your inner being, whatever you want to call it. And my belief really, and what I help teach other people to do, is that our emotions, this is an Abraham Hicks concept, emotional guidance system. They're GPS. So when we're in the lower half of the emotional scale, anger, fear, frustration, overwhelm, it's just showing us that who we already are, the inner being, aka your millionaire self, is looking at this situation differently than you. That's it. It's just telling you to take a right and you keep going straight. The emotional guidance system is here guiding you. Not only does it want everything that you want, like your desires, but it wants to give it to you in a way that delights you and surprises you in a way that you least expect. And that's why we're going to dive into kind of some examples in my life to really bring this home for you guys. I love learning by stories. I love learning by examples. It really helps kind of connect the thing in the human mind. Storytelling is such a big part of my life. Hello, podcasting. So my journey, real life examples of this inner work. Okay, it's great, Lauren. Yeah, practice feeling more confident or trusting in the unknown. Yeah. Everybody says that. But does this actually freaking work? So this podcast, for many years, up until almost a year ago, was called Witchy Wellness Radio. Because back in 2018, I was freshly out of divorce. I was living by myself for the first time. I was so excited and still processing and healing so much. So I started this podcast. I was already health coaching, had a few clients at the time, still working full-time in corporate America, and really wanted to practice sharing my voice. I had just gone through my own really epic hero's journey of navigating a challenging relationship and divorce and finding my own inner power, my own inner strength. And now I knew it was a stretch, but I knew that this was a part of my journey to now share that and give back and feature other people who've gone on their own healing journeys to share that and really build that collective impact and inspiration. So now you can probably tell I could talk about anything, anytime, anywhere on the podcast. I love it. I just trust whatever stories come up. I trust what needs to come through will come through. This is where I get very vulnerable. Sharing my struggle here. It took me the first episode, if you want to scroll back, because we're almost at 300 episodes, but if you want to scroll back to the very first episode of Witchy Wellness Radio, it took me over 2 hours to record a 10-minute intro episode. I had huge imposter syndrome. This was way before AI was out there to help you edit everything. And I went through and edited every pause. I didn't know what to say, even though I had an outline. It was a hot mess, but I knew that it was like, I had to do it. It wasn't perfect. No. Was I still stuck in the perfection loop? Of course. And so I started building my confidence, and I had a few friends on the podcast who were in the holistic health spiritual world that I kind of begged to come on and talk with me. And then I started actually gaining some momentum, and I was getting comfortable with this thing, having conversations, listening. And I ended up having to cancel a few of my first interviews because something that I thought I'd healed, my anxiety, came back to the point where that imposter syndrome and anxiety was so overwhelming, I had to take a step back. So the inner shift here is when we have set these goals and still show up, the triggers are going to come up. They're supposed to come up because that shows you that you are growing outside of that normal capacity. You've hit the ceiling and you're breaking through. So learning that self-trust, releasing that perfectionism helped me really embrace my authentic voice. And the result of all of this is a podcast that touches lives and helps boost my business. I got messages from people who now are coming on as guests that over the years have reached out and said how helpful the podcast has been in their own healing journey through a really, really tough time, and that kind of, guiding light, which was my mission, is still is to help be that inspiration guiding light. Because when I was going through all of my internal struggles with my marriage, podcasts were my guiding light to help me see through. And now she's coming on this year as well, which I'm super excited. She has her own business now. She helps moms. Shout out to Serene Moms Yoga here. I'll link everything in the show notes for her. That it's come full circle. My podcast has shifted. That's why I've changed the name from Witchy Wellness Radio to Sovereign Self Show, because I've shifted and my listeners have shifted from their own healing journeys to now starting their own businesses and wanting to give back. But we realized that the business podcast, putting yourself out there at this new level, brings up this stuff for us to heal and to see and to practice moving forward at a whole new level than we thought was possible before. And another manifestation I've talked about a few times is going through starting your business. I had a lot of shame and fear about really putting myself out there. I kind of felt like I was living two lives. Yes, I had my podcast and some health coaching clients, but when I really wanted to go in and I really wanted to be able to quit my job, I was really scared. I had a lot of triggers come up. I had a lot of fight or flight, mechanisms popping up. And it was like the best way to describe this period. Also, FYI, around 2020, which was like the global awakening for all of us. Shame and guilt. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm not living up to my potential. And I got really stuck in that loop, and I ended up receiving a diagnosis in my sacral center that was really, really scary. I'm a very healthy person. I meditate, do breath work, eat healthy, work out. And I was like, well, shit, my body is leading the way. My body is not in the way. I know this. I've healed so much in my sacral center over the years. So much. So yes, I was surprised and I was scared. But I knew at a deeper level, this was calling me to my own self-mastery. This was calling me saying, Lauren, it's enough. It's enough. What this shame victim spiral that really I was living in. It's no longer you. And I feel that momentum. I feel that love right now. I felt so lost and I was so scared. But I knew in that moment at the same time, equally, that my soul was coming through to say, Lauren, this is the way forward. And it was, and it is. And that's what led me here to be living on the beach, on the ocean, podcasting to you guys on New Year's Day. And so I really went in, committed a deeper level to actually showing up and doing that inner work every day. I promised myself I did breath work twice a day and meditation twice a day. Really paid attention to those emotions and those thoughts at a deeper level than I had in the past. I kind of stepped my toe. And very long story short, my body started moving energy. I healed my body, of course. And then I manifested my partner. I wasn't even on my radar. I was actually in another relationship that I was kind of like, not sure about. And came into my life like a freaking whirlwind. The manifestations, the synchronicities were crazy in all this whole experience. His middle name is Lauren, Loren, y'all, spelled like my name. Our birthdays, our numbers and our birthdays are palindromes. So my birthday is 12/20, so 1220, and his birthday is January 22nd, which is 0122. So you flip the 0 from the beginning to the end, and it's each of our birthdays. So the reason I share this is because that's part of my journey. It's, healing and starting a business isn't about perfection. Shit's going to hit the fan. but it's all leading you towards your goal anyway. I mean, if you guys could see my face right now, everything is happening for you. The diagnosis, the breakup, the frustration, the anxiety, whatever it is in your life that you're like want to not deal with, that you feel is like too much, is happening for you. It's part of the healing process. It's about the deep acceptance that's going to guide you to everything you want. And lastly, I wanted to share with you guys my current mission. My current intention is becoming a millionaire mom, which is so exciting. I like it. Just fills me up with so much joy. Um, what I'm working on now is embodying abundance at a new level to be able to pay off all debts, because for a while, debt and I had not a great relationship. I will say the shame came up again, the fear came up again, similar to the state of being I was in when I got a diagnosis. So being this millionaire mom is a whole different vibration for me. Embodying the abundance, preparing for motherhood, not just like physically, but like energetically, creating systems in my business. I flipped my whole entire business model. And I get very vulnerable with you guys. I slowed down all income the past few months of the end of 2024 to totally revamp and shift my business model. I was working from a higher ticket mastermind group coaching level with also VIP one-on-one coaching, which were both for thousands of dollars, which is great. And I helped so many women like impact their lives, their businesses, their health. But my mission is to help healers, the wounded healers, get out of survival and into being their abundant self so they can make this massive impact and massive income. Because I'm here to make a massive impact and massive income. So you guys, I haven't released it yet, but it's super exciting. Creating a whole new business model, helping women do that. A more passive income model with coaching. Coaching will be in here still because I love it. I think it's very helpful because of my own mission. I was like, shit, I'm not on line with my own mission. How can I scale this? Also wanting to be a mom. And in all honesty, when we start having a family, I want to be able to step back and be present and enjoy my life, whether I'm a mom now or not, and be able to dive deeper into my business if I want to. So I have been deep, deep, deep in the weeds, learning, which I love, of how to restructure this business and still make a huge impact and huge income. So I'm excited to share very shortly. I'm hoping to get everything out by the 13th-ish. This new model of working with me it's really soaked in my unique practices and teachings of how did all these shifts and manifestations I had, what did I actually do? Like boots on the ground. How do you do all these things step by step? There's a system. There is a system. Yeah, and how I'm actually navigating, every time I think about it, saying millionaire mom, like it so excites me. And a lot of the women I work with already have families, already have children, which is just so awesome to see them create and be their authentic selves and live a life of purpose and enjoy themselves, love themselves, enjoy being a mom too. Because yes, I love this business. Yes, I love this podcast, but that's not my whole life. It's not. And I don't want my kids to be my whole life either. So that's kind of what, so watch out. TBD this year, Millionaire Mom Lauren, declaring it here across the airwaves, YouTube waves of what I'm creating in my life. And I'm so excited because I know I'm on the path. And it's about who I'm becoming in the process. And it's already here. It's already here, which is just exciting, but also very grounding feeling for me as well. All right, so enough about me. Lessons for you guys, lessons for you listening, how to really align your real Lightworker mission, your real purpose mission. So some practical tips. Embrace emotional alchemy. Everything is happening for you. Your emotions, your body are leading the way. So using different somatic practices, breath work, to just be present and honor how you feel. Not to be stuck in how you feel, not to be stuck in the victim loop, people, but to actually be present, allow the emotion to come up, learn what you need to learn, and then start to move up the emotional scale. And how you have to do this, the next tip is be able to focus presently in the moment in your body. Your mission is to embody who you want to become today. So how would your millionaire mom version of you, whatever that identity, that goal that you want to create, how would she deal with this anger coming up? How would she embrace this emotional alchemy today? And number 3, the last tip is really tracking your inner growth. It's not about just the external wins, celebrating the shifts, the self-awarenesses, the confidence, the alignment, catching yourself in the victim loop, catching yourself feeling overwhelmed or triggered is a huge win. It's not all about like, I just got $10,000 sales day or 20 million downloads on my podcast. Yes, great, awesome. But it's about the internal shifts. Are you going from a state of overall feeling anxious and regret and shame to now you kind of feel a little hopeful and some fear is there here and there, but in general, you feel kind of a little bit better overall. That's a huge freaking win. And when you can consistently focus on that, those internal shifts, you will notice your external environment exploding, becoming more magnetic because your business, your impact, and your abundance are inevitable when you prioritize how you feel. When you prioritize this inner work, it's not about doing more, y'all. I mean, I could wake up and start doing this work every single day. I get so excited. Sometimes it's from an anxious place. Yes. Sometimes it's from a let's go. I woke up. I'm excited. Woo! But I really, my priority is to make my own inner work, my own inner alignment first. First. Because that's our direct connection with source. That's our direct connection with our own inner being. And my perspective is the more I can connect with God, source, and from this energy of like, use me, God, I'm here as this channel for love and for life. And I want to make this huge impact as this ego, as this identity, Lauren, this lifetime. Use me. I'm here. I'm open for ideas. And just watch doing that today, this morning or at night, how many ideas and how many downloads you're going to get of what you want to create. So let's take that inspired action together from this aligned place. What do you want to become this year? Who do you want to become this year? For me, that millionaire mom. Very clear. Like you guys can probably tell. I start smiling as soon as I listen to that, as soon as I hear myself say that. So getting clear on, yes, what are your goals? Blah, 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 blah. But like, who do you want to become? Give her a name. And what's one way you can embody her today? And so I highly suggest kind of pondering these questions throughout the day, throughout the week, maybe taking some time to meditate and get that journal out. So when those inspired ideas come, writing them down and taking that inspired action. You know how it feels when it's an inspired action versus, oh, I should be doing this. That sounds like a good idea in my mind. You know. So you guys, thank you so much for listening. Oh my gosh. If this inspired you, share this episode. Tag me on Instagram at Lauren Celentani. Send me a DM. I'd love to have this conversation with every single one of you. And as I'm in the process of shifting my business, I have created this ginormous bundle, the Purpose Activation Bundle, which is 13 freaking courses. A lot of it, my master classes, which are over an hour long, and from my old mastermind, which is even old. It's just shifting that content to be useful in a different area for $13. 13 courses for $13. This is for the empath who's ready to embody success without the burnout for $13. This is like freaking amazing, impactful steal. This will be going away once I release my new course in a few weeks. So if you guys want to learn more, that will be in the show notes. If you feel like you need some help with the goals, there are so many somatic practices, new moon circles, goal setting, journaling questions. This thing is like seriously jam freaking packed. And it's part of my mission to help Lightworkers biggest massive impact and income this lifetime. So to recap, your real mission this lifetime isn't about the end goals, checking off that list. It's about stepping into that most magnetic, embodied version of yourself that already exists. We just get to practice and embody it in this human form. And that is where the miracles happen. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll see you guys next week.